so blessed with you.
I'm blessed with you all. So.
Uh, so today I'm continuing in the basic beliefs of unity. One thing I'm very grateful for is each minister in unity can choose their topic on a Sunday morning. Whatever is stirring in them, they can share. A lot of other traditions take their cue from headquarters. So they get their packet, and this is what you're going to teach, and this is the story you're going to tell, and here's the scripture you're going to use. And that way, if wherever you are, if you go into a church of that tradition, you're going to get the same message. Unity's not that way. So the first principle, there is only one presence and one power. And the reason there appears to be more than that is because we distort it. We distort it with our misunderstandings and our false beliefs and so on and so forth. It stands to reason if there's only one presence and one power, and that is a loving, all-wise, divine presence most people call God. And it's by any other name, it's the same. It stands to reason that you and I are individualized expressions of this. We are. And we have the potential to do the things that Jesus did. So who was Jesus? Jesus was a great example of an awakened soul. He was a teacher, and he came to teach us how to stop messing up our lives, how to live with peace and prosperity. And can we just imagine that? Wouldn't that be awesome? Nothing to kill or die for. Wow, if we could all just get along, you know. And he came to show us that and to teach us that. And one of the primary teachings that he gave, and it's also primary in unity, is something we call the law of mind action. And it's simply this, nice little jingle. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Now there's more to it than that. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Produce what? What does it produce? It produces our experience as a human being. So our experience as a human being is driven by the quality of consciousness that we cultivate. Thoughts held in mind, but there's more to it. The real formula is thoughts plus feeling equals manifestation. Thoughts, how powerful they are. We sing thoughts are things, and we are always praying, and thoughts. But most of the time, most people, myself included, I'm just on automatic pilot. You know, I'm trudging along. What am I going to have for dinner? And geez, I've got 2 eggs left. About time I go to the store. And blah, 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 blah. The human life. So, what brought me into unity was this particular teaching. I remember the second time I was sitting on the front row. On the front row inside a hotel on the Big Island, King Kamehameha. And there was a Unity Church just starting up. And the minister there was teaching these basic things. And my mind was absolutely blown. When he got to thoughts held in mind, produce after their kind, all of a sudden I was liberated. I thought, you mean I'm not a victim? My visual I always had was every morning get it, batter up. Throw it at me, you know, and I'll see if I can hit it out of the park or if I strike out or whatever. But life comes at you fast, right? As the commercial goes, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. Life does come at us fast, and we are not powerless at all. So the first thing that Carlton was his name, started to teach us was a method of praying using denials and affirmations. Denials and affirmations. So if something is threatening me, or something is worrying me, or scaring me, I could do a denial. And that's the primary thing about a denial. It will erase your fear. So I used to do this. I'd walk the floor, try to squeeze another penny out of the checkbook. And I'm going to talk about that too. We absorb a lot of erroneous beliefs from people around us. It's primarily our parents as we're growing up. And when we were growing up, they were constantly shutting off our gas or shutting off our heat or shutting off because the bills weren't paid. There were 4 girls. My parents were factory workers, 2 factory workers. So I grew up, and my belief that I just absorbed, it wasn't anything I chose, is we're poor. We don't have much money. You know, we've got to recycle everything. Save those brown paper bags, stick them behind the refrigerator because you never know when you're going to need a brown paper bag. So that was the type of programming I got as a child. Save your money? Ha, what money? Anyway, we all shared the same clothes. Fortunately, we were all girls, so we could all just share the same clothes. So that's how I grew up. You have your programming too. But by taking charge of the thoughts that you think today, the beliefs that you choose to cultivate, you can change your life. Now, those of us who've been in Unity a long time, this is a refresher course. But I thoroughly enjoyed working on this because, you know, I forgot some of this stuff. So this is how, with your mind, you create. Most of us know about the quantum field, the potential that's there. And the minute we decide what we choose to think, whew, it pops out of the field and becomes a reality. Could be just a fleeting reality. So we have a mind, but we have 2 kinds of mind. We have our conscious mind, and that's the mind we're sitting here with. It's called the rational mind. And that level of mind, we make choices. We make choices. What we're going to wear today, what we're going to watch on TV, who we're going to talk to, whatever. We make choices. And if we keep making the same choice over and over and over, it becomes habitual. And those choices sink down into the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is the creative mind. It's also the seat of our emotions and the seat of our memory. And it goes on all the time. When we go to bed at night and we're sleeping, the subconscious mind is working. And what exactly is it working on? It takes its cue from the conscious mind. So, for instance, we're poor, I'm poor. Subconscious mind makes it so. The subconscious mind is our servant. And whatever the conscious mind tells the subconscious mind, it follows it. So when I hear people habitually say, I am so sick and tired, I don't even want to see their doctor bills. I'm telling you, we affirm things that aren't true or don't have to be true. We're little computers. That's what it is. We are computers. And the brain is a physical, biological computer, but it's also driven by our souls and driven by the lessons that we want to learn and that we need to learn in order to have a closer walk with God, in order to align so that we can fulfill our spiritual purpose. And what is our spiritual purpose? To be transparent, so that the Christ in me shines forth and the Christ in you shines forth. And we use our spiritual powers to create a better world. So it's important that we pay attention to our thoughts. But, I don't know about you, but I get some really crazy stuff running through my head like, whoops, The good news is there's a word and thoughts held in mind. Not just the little running rabbits or whatever other stuff that I find myself going, where did that come from? Release it, realign. Held in mind. So if I want to increase my prosperity, I stop affirming my lack and limitation. And I start saying, I grew up knowing that, biblically speaking, it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And there is no lack in God. And if there's one presence and one power, and that's God, then there's no lack anywhere. And I don't need to worry about it. I can take the day off. I can take the day off from worrying, because whatever I need comes to me. And it comes in the right time and in the right way. And many of you are channels of that. We're all channels for one another. And that is why cultivating a generous heart, walking by faith and not by sight, these spiritual principles are important to the quality of your life. Okay, so that's the conscious and the subconscious mind and how they work together to impact the quantum field and pull into expression your experience. What is the most powerful thing you can do with your mind? It is pray and meditate. See, so often we're using our denials and affirmations, and we don't realize that we've got a subconscious, which means unconscious, contrary belief. So here I was in Unity, learning all these prosperity principles. I was just on fire, and I was living in Hawaii. Moved back to Tennessee, and it was a different story. I mean, I was still, but it was financially challenging. And I ended up in bankruptcy. My husband and I both declared bankruptcy right prior to making the decision that we were going to go to Unity Village and become ministers. It took that hitting that bottom. And I never will forget it. And I'm thinking, what is my lesson here? I'm doing everything I was taught. I'm denying that this appearance has any power over me. And I'm affirming that my prosperity is coming to me one of these days, right now. I had a friend of mine used to say, I see a big money pie with wings coming down. So I don't think that's what visualization was meant. But anyway, why? Why was I unable to manifest this? And then one day, I got an answer. And this was in the form of a dream. See, your subconscious works through dreams, works through everything. And I dreamed, and I've shared this with you before, it's been many years. I was I was driving through this really nice area of Kansas City, those old mansion houses, where the old money lives. And I remember just sitting in the car and looking out and thinking, gosh, they're so beautiful. When will I ever have that? And this little voice said to me, when they all die. And I thought, what? What do you mean when they all die? And I know that voice was talking about my family. And then I realized I was holding this belief. Don't get above your raising. Don't get above your raising. Which meant that I could only stay at the level I was in. Otherwise, I would be disrespecting the people that I loved. And then all these other teachings poured in at the right time through the right people. And one of them was Edwene Gaines, a well-known prosperity teacher in Unity. And she was from Georgia. She had a southern accent, even more southern than mine. And she would say, God is not glorified by poverty. Bingo. I had a responsibility to be successful for the people who raised me. So I changed my mind. And when I changed my mind, I changed my life. And I stopped using the law of mind action like a slot machine. Just one more affirmation, it'll pay off. Just one more affirmation, it'll pay off. I started realizing the value of understanding the power of prayer and meditation. And specifically, I want to talk about meditation. So we've got all this junk in our heads, right? And I have a friend who used to say, yeah, we've got it all because we picked up from the dumping grounds of others. So, we said, okay, I believe that when that wasn't true. When that wasn't true. So, I learned to meditate. And I first learned to meditate in college with transcendental meditation. But then I practiced more in unity. And this is the power of meditation. Peace. Be still. You don't have to tell the divine presence what's troubling you. Let the divine presence tell you. Be still. And just pay attention to what comes up. So I attended a meditation workshop in my church in Nashville before I became a minister in my Unity church there. And I never will forget this example. This guy's teaching meditation, and he said, I remember the time I was just simply watching the contents of my mind arise from the subconscious so that I could see what I believed. And he said, then I saw all these bubbles. He said, I wondered, what is this? And when I said, what is this? He said, this song popped into my head. Use Ajax the foaming cleanser. It's everywhere. Every time we open our mind to watch TV, listen to a commercial, listen to a song, have a conversation, everything goes in there. But it doesn't have to stick. You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So, in addition to the law of mind action, the fourth principle is through prayer and meditation, we come to know our divine nature. We get closer to seeing and feeling the truth. Speaking of seeing, imagination, the power of imagination. If you're working on transforming your life, on a healing of any nature, emotional, physical, spiritual, use your imagination to put yourself in the fulfilled position. I cannot tell you how powerful this is. Give your subconscious something to build upon. Because the minute the subconscious buys into an idea, receives it, hears it enough, it will begin to execute it in your life. So feel your life. Life is not lived in the head. It starts there, but it's lived on the emotional level. Feel how you want to feel. See in your mind's eye what you want to see. And lo and behold, do that enough, consistently enough, you will be amazed. You will be amazed. The fact I'm even standing here talking to you today is absolutely miraculous to me. To me. You know? Because my little neighborhood, I literally lived last house on a dead-end street. And on my back porch, you look over there and you can see the federal penitentiary. Yeah, it's where they filmed Green Mile. It looked like a big castle. And if I had thought I would do the things that I have done, visit the places I have visited, meet the people I have met, it never would have occurred to me. However, I've always had a sense of the indwelling presence. And I can remember standing in that backyard next to my thorn tree that I used to pray to. And I thought to myself, the world is my backyard. Not just this yard, but the world is. And I developed a hunger to see the world. And as a result of that, the means was provided for me. The means was provided. And I'm very, 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 very grateful. So your life is a beautiful thing if you believe. Because according to your belief is it done. Not your affirmation, not your denial. Those are kind of conditioners, like you put on your hair. The real life is what you believe. What do you believe for yourself? What are you capable of? And what is your heart's desire? The law of mind action coupled with just being still and listening to guidance and using affirming prayers, you bring it into your life. Next Sunday, you get it in your life. Now what are you going to do? What are you going to do with it? It's all about right action next Sunday. Thank you.